There are many places in the world with fascinating traditions and customs that may seem strange to us, but there is one country where the cultural roots run deep and are full of surprises: Vietnam. In this video, we will explore this amazing place, where we come across arranged marriages that are still a common practice in rural areas, uniting families and preserving cultural ties. Did you know that in some regions, spending the night in cemeteries is a respected tradition, reflecting a unique relationship with ancestors? In Sapa, a charming mountain town, the famous Love Market takes place, where young people gather to find a partner and celebrate the connection. However, there is a darker side that few dare to reveal. Rampant prostitution tarnishes the shine of this city, attracting Vietnamese women with empty promises, only to find themselves trapped in a web of lies and exploitation. And we can't forget the surreal traffic of Vietnamese cities, a true dance between motorcycles and pedestrians that defies all logic. Get ready to learn 12 surprising facts about Vietnam that will completely change your view of the country. And I guarantee the last one will leave you speechless. Come with me. In Vietnam, the beauty of women is something that catches the attention of visitors from around the world. And this impression comes not only from their physical appearance, but from a set of cultural traits that make Vietnamese women unique. Many carry features that reflect a mix of Asian influences and ancestry, the result of a rich cultural heritage that spans centuries of history. Delicate features, soft-looking skin, and generally dark and shiny hair are part of this identity. But it is the graceful posture and kindness in their demeanor that leave a lasting impression on those who visit the country. Moreover, the notion of beauty in Vietnam is closely tied to simplicity. Unlike the Western beauty standard, which often emphasizes makeup and fashion trends, in Vietnam there is a strong appreciation for natural appearance and care for health and well-being. This natural aesthetic is valued from an early age, and for many women, maintaining healthy skin and a balanced lifestyle is more important than following trends. The result is a beauty that seems almost timeless, reflecting a connection with nature and traditions that endure. For the Vietnamese, beauty is not just a physical matter. It is also about character and attitude, respect for elders, delicacy in social interactions, and the value placed on education are qualities that stand out. In a culture that values community and harmony, these characteristics are fundamental and are seen as aspects that contribute to true beauty. Now let's talk about a complex subject: prostitution in Vietnam. Although it is an illegal practice, it exists in several urban areas and is tied to historical events and the country's economic development. Its roots go back to the time of the Vietnam War, when the country saw a large presence of foreign soldiers, creating an unexpected demand for entertainment. This period was marked by social transformation, and after the war ended, the activity remained in certain areas, especially with the growth of tourism and the opening of commercial and leisure areas. Over the years, tourism in Vietnam has grown, and in some areas, such as Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, known for their nightlife, the activity became more visible. Although it is widely known, it is important to highlight that sex work is illegal and, in many cases, remains confined to specific and less visible areas. The government has adopted various measures to address this issue, such as rehabilitation programs, social support, and professional training, aiming to provide alternatives for those in vulnerable situations. There are also awareness campaigns promoted by NGOs and partnerships with local institutions to create opportunities and raise awareness about the importance of combating the practice. Despite this, the topic remains challenging, as the flow of tourists and economic necessity in some areas make it difficult to completely eradicate this activity. In some tourist areas, inspections are carried out to try to curb its growth, and authorities continue to invest in control measures. The next curiosity will surprise you. In Sapa, a picturesque mountain town in Vietnam, an extraordinary event takes place: the Love Market. But don't be fooled. This is not an ordinary market where things are bought and sold, but a vibrant space for meetings, music, and ancestral traditions. Here, young people from local communities gather to sing, dance, and, of course, seek true love. Imagine walking through the Green Mountains, surrounded by a stunning natural landscape. The hills covered with rice terraces provide the backdrop for this market, where the vibrant colors of traditional clothing stand out against the scenery. As the sun sets, the air fills with music and laughter. It is in this festive atmosphere that young people, both men and women, present themselves to each other, showcasing their skills in songs and dances. At the heart of this event is the search for connection. The young people people gather not only to have fun, but also to form lasting bonds. The tradition of the love market dates back centuries, a way to allow young people to meet outside the constraints of daily life. What makes this market even more special is the cultural interaction. Visitors from all over the world have the chance to join in this unique celebration. The energy is contagious, and for tourists, it is an opportunity to immerse themselves in a rich and diverse culture. Many are attracted not only by the possibility of finding love, but also by the experience of a tradition that has stood the test of time. In Vietnam, especially in rural areas, an ancient tradition still persists: arranged marriages. For many Vietnamese, especially in villages and regions with strong cultural heritage, it is common for families to play a central role in choosing their children's future spouse. In some cases, the couple meets only on the day of the wedding. Although it may seem like a practice far removed from modern relationships, for these communities, arranged marriage is more than a union between two people. It is a connection between two families, sealing ties that go beyond the couple. Families play a careful and strategic role, seeking partners who share similar values and traditions. The idea is to strengthen family unity and preserve harmony within the community. For many young Vietnamese, arranged marriage can even be seen as a responsibility to the family, a way to honor the elders and maintain harmony within the family lineage. They trust that their parents' experience and wisdom form the foundation for a lasting and secure relationship. Although this may seem like a surprising reality to most of us, these marriages have deep roots and date back centuries of Vietnamese customs. Many parents carefully consider aspects such as compatibility between families, social status, and even the future prosperity of the couple. This process is done with great respect, and mutual acceptance is key for the marriage to take place. Today, although many young Vietnamese are migrating to urban areas and adopting modern lifestyles, this practice remains alive in some regions. For some couples, starting life together with little or no prior knowledge of each other can be challenging, but over time, many learn to get to know each other and develop a special bond. It is common to hear stories of couples who, even starting as strangers, find a unique way to build a solid life based on respect and partnership. Among Vietnam's traditional garments, the Áo Dai is undoubtedly the most iconic, worn by both men and women during celebrations and special events. This attire reflects elegance and respect for Vietnamese traditions. With its elongated lines and high collar, the women's Áo Dai creates a fluid and harmonious silhouette, often made from lightweight fabrics like silk, which move with the wearer. Men's Áo Dai, on the other hand, is more structured, with a straight cut and a touch of sobriety. While the women's garment emphasizes grace and lightness, the men's version carries an aura of nobility and formality, especially during weddings and festivals. With a history dating back to the 1930s, the Áo Dai has undergone various transformations. In modern times, it adapts with variations in colors and styles, catering to both tradition and contemporary tastes. During Tet, the Vietnamese Lunar New Year, red and gold tones are the most common, symbolizing luck and prosperity. Have you ever imagined spending the night in a cemetery? In Vietnam, this practice is more than just a curiosity. It is a deep and spiritual ritual that connects people to their ancestors. For many Vietnamese, sleeping in cemeteries is a way to honor the dead, seeking a connection with the beyond that transcends time. The tradition of spending the night in cemeteries is deeply rooted in Vietnamese culture, where respect for ancestors is a fundamental pillar. During festivals like Tet, many families visit the graves of their loved ones, but some go further, choosing to spend the night by the tombs. This practice is seen as a way to offer prayers and tributes, allowing the spirits of the deceased to feel welcomed and remembered. But what motivates this choice? For many, the experience is not just about the physical presence of the dead, but a search for wisdom and protection. The Vietnamese believe that the ancestral spirits can offer guidance in times of need. If you've ever thought that the traffic in your city is complicated, it's because you haven't seen what happens on the streets of Vietnam. This country has one of the most curious and, for many, frightening traffic dynamics in the world. Imagine crossing a street where there are no traffic lights and the flow of motorcycles seems endless. Could you handle it? The scene is almost surreal. Motorcycles, scooters, and even bicycles seem to flow like a river without a fixed direction, with no apparent rules. Drivers seem to instinctively avoid one another in a choreographed dance that, at first glance, challenges all the notions of safety we know. And here's the most curious detail. For pedestrians, the only way to cross the street is to trust that the drivers will avoid them. That's right. In Vietnam, crossing the street is almost an act of faith and a lot of patience. The golden rule is simple: never run or stop suddenly. Instead, pedestrians should walk in a steady and predictable manner. The secret is to stay calm, look ahead, and trust. The drivers will adjust to the movement, avoiding people along the way. Sounds crazy, right? But in the apparent chaos, there's a kind of organization that only works when everyone is in sync. And the most amazing part is that, amidst this organized mess, accidents are less common than you might think. This impressive traffic skill comes from generations who grew up with this routine, and for them, it's just the way things work. It's not uncommon to see children riding on the back of motorcycles, whole families traveling together, or people carrying impressive loads on scooters. It's a clear example of the adaptability and resilience of this people. In Hanoi, there is a street that seems straight out of a movie, narrow, vibrant, and with a surprising attraction: the train. Known as the Train Street, this little alley has become one of the most curious and photogenic spots in the Vietnamese capital, attracting visitors from all over the world. There, twice a day, the train cuts through the street, passing just a few centimeters from doors, windows, and balconies. But how did this unique street come about? The railway line was built during the French colonial period, and over time, houses and shops were built very close to the tracks. Today, the residents are well acquainted with the rhythm of the train and live with impressive calmness, knowing exactly when to clear tables, chairs, and objects to free the way. Some even turn the train's passage into a real spectacle. For tourists, Train Street is an unforgettable experience. The adrenaline of being so close to the train, combined with the peaceful atmosphere of the houses around, creates a unique feeling. Many take photos and record the moment, but it's important to remember that the local government has imposed some restrictions to ensure everyone's safety. There have even been attempts to limit tourist access at certain times to preserve the residents' routine and avoid accidents. In the heart of the Mekong Delta, a fascinating scene unfolds in the early morning hours. These are the floating markets, a vibrant tradition where merchants and buyers meet in a unique choreography of boats loaded with fruits, vegetables, flowers, and even household items. This waterborne trade is a centuries-old practice that still drives the economy and preserves the culture of the region. These markets serve as meeting points for farmers and residents of the riverside areas who often depend on the river for their livelihood. Instead of streets, it is the canals and tributaries of the Mekong River that serve as the highways for these navigating markets. Instead of stalls, it is the small boats that line up, each carrying a variety of fresh products picked directly from the local farms. Each boat displays its main product on a wooden pole, making it easier to spot from a distance. This way, buyers know where to find each item, whether it's exotic fruits like rambutan and dragon fruit or vegetables and spices. It's not just a market, it's an intense visual and sensory experience, with vibrant colors and aromas that blend with the sounds of the waters and lively negotiations. Now let's talk about an interesting fact. Did you know that around 40% of the Vietnamese population carries the last name Nguyen? That's right. In a country with a rich cultural and historical tapestry, this surname stands out not only for its frequency, but also for the fascinating stories it represents. Imagine walking down a bustling street in Hanoi or exploring the serene landscapes of Ho Chi Minh. At every corner, you might encounter someone with the last name Nguyen. What makes this so interesting? The answer lies in Vietnam's own history and the tradition of adopting surnames. Historically, the surname Nguyen dates back to the Nguyen dynasty, which ruled Vietnam from 1802 to 1945. During this period, many Vietnamese adopted the surname as a sign of loyalty to the dynasty, creating a link to their heritage. What started as a political identity became a social norm that persists to this day. This mass adoption led to a phenomenon where, in the statistics, Nguyen is more than just a last name. It is a cultural marker. In Vietnam, the number 4 is surrounded by superstitions and is approached with great caution. This is because, in the Vietnamese language, the pronunciation of the number 4 is very similar to the word for death. As a result, it has become associated with bad luck, and to this day, many people avoid using this number in various daily situations. This aversion is not exclusive to Vietnam. In several East Asian cultures, such as China and Japan, number 4 also carries the same connotation, creating a curious phenomenon known as tetraphobia. In Vietnamese daily life, this superstition is taken seriously. In many buildings, especially in large cities, it's common for the 4th floor to simply not exist. After the third floor, the next number will be 5, skipping over 4 as if it never existed. The same happens with apartment numbers, hotel rooms, and even vehicle plates. So if you stay in a Vietnamese hotel and don't find the number 4 anywhere, now you know why. This may seem curious to some, but for locals, it is a matter of precaution and respect for traditions. Superstition also influences other aspects of life. During special occasions such as weddings and inaugurations, the number 4 is avoided at all costs to ensure a good start. Families and organizers avoid scheduling these events on days that include the number 4 in the calendar, preferring dates that are considered more auspicious. Thus, the practice is not just a superstition, also a tradition that reflects Vietnamese culture and beliefs. Get ready to discover one of Vietnam's most exotic delicacies. We're talking about the famous balut, a food that might seem challenging to some but is loved by many Vietnamese. Balut is essentially a developing duck embryo, cooked and consumed directly from the shell. For locals, it is not only a delicacy, but also a nutritional powerhouse. Although it is a traditional dish in Vietnam, you can find it in several other Southeast Asian cultures, such as in the Philippines and Cambodia. In addition to its distinctive flavor, balut is known for its energetic properties. Many Vietnamese believe it is a strengthening food, ideal for those needing a nutritional boost. Rich in protein and vitamins, it is viewed as a true natural superfood, perfect for energizing throughout the day. For many Westerners, balut might seem a bit intimidating at first. Perhaps that's the point. It makes us rethink the boundaries of what we consider normal food and challenges our own culinary concepts. After all, cuisine is a way to explore the world, and sometimes it takes courage to venture into the unfamiliar. And that's the end of the video. Please share your thoughts on these curiosities about Vietnam in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Your support means a lot to us. Click the video showing on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll enjoy the content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.